Honestly, my first thought when I came across color theory was boring. I don't know about you, but I don't like anybody to tell me what to do with my art. I don't like to follow rules in any part of my life, and especially when I'm creating art. I just want to have fun. I want to create something beautiful, something that I've never seen before. And color theory, to me, especially at first, was so confining. And it was like, do I really want to use a complementary color scheme that's like purple and yellow or red and green, the opposite colors on the color wheel? Here in a minute, we're going to go look at the color wheel in more detail. But the main idea here is that I didn't want to use these standard color schemes that everybody says that you're supposed to use to have a really nice harmonizing color feel. I wanted to be able to create something new and different, and I like to use every color. And if you ask an art teacher about this, they're going to tell you, no, 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 don't ever use every color because that shows that you're a novice. But in this video, I want to show you a different way to look at color, a different way to create a harmonizing color scheme, one that doesn't necessarily rely solely upon the predefined color schemes outlined in the color wheel. We're going to look at the two abstract paintings I have back there. I'm making them in a series, and so they are similar colors, yet a little bit different. I want each painting to have a clear communication of a different feeling or different vibe for the viewer. So I don't want them all to be the same, but I do want some of the colors to continue throughout each piece. So if a person wants to buy several in the series to have hanging on their wall, they will match. So these are some of the things that are coming into my mind as I'm creating them. Back here, you can see my color wheel. Sorry for my lamp that is in front of it, but you can still see the colors and get the idea. So my first painting that I'm going to show you, I had a color scheme that was mainly along this side over here. These would be analogous colors if you were only using those, but then I decided to use the complements of some of them. I often like to use complementary colors because when you put them side by side on a painting, it really pops. And my art is known for color pop. So I had some of the more calming colors and then some more activating colors from this side of the color wheel. And ultimately, in the first painting, the only color that I didn't use was red. In the second painting, I couldn't help myself and I just had to use every color. Again, this would be a real no-no if you were looking at a traditional perspective on how to use color. Traditionally, you wouldn't do what I did with either of my paintings. You wouldn't use every color or most of the colors. You would stick to 1 to 4 colors in a predefined color scheme as according to the color wheel. So analogous colors are colors right beside each other, or you could have triadic, which is opposite in 3 ways. So like purple, orange, and green would be an example of triadic. You could have complementary, which I've discussed, which is the color right across from it, or split complementary. What you do is you take the complements, so you've got your red and your green, and then you have a blue green and a yellow green, which are the colors right next to the green. So that would be your split complement. The other way to do it is to pick 2 different complements. So you could do a purple and the yellow, and the blue and the orange. And so that's 4 colors that you could use. But any more than 4 is frowned upon by a lot of professional artists. And I don't see why, because I think that you can do such amazing things if you use most of the colors or every color. So this is the first painting, the one without pink, and then this is the second one where I added pink. If you notice, they each have a little bit different feel or vibe. This one feels very calming, and so does this one because they have the calming colors. And they also feel activated or energized because they have these really bright colors in there in large sections. But the difference is I think the first one feels a little more relaxed, maybe a little more down in energy, whereas the second one feels more playful. And the main thing that I added differently in these pieces was pink, but also what I did on the second one is I added a little bit lighter pastel green, more of a seafoam green, because I thought that would give it also a little more of a light feel, whereas this one I had a little bit more dark values, especially darker greens, because I made a tone of teal that I added to this one that I did not add to this one. But ultimately, the idea here is the addition of one single color can completely change the feel of a piece. But you can have pieces that go together in a series where you use some of the same colors, like I used the same purples and the same light blues and the same yellows in all the pieces. And these were the main colors that both pieces have. And so this gives some continuity to the series, but you add that variety that communicates the different feeling by adding different colors in the series. Now, I could have chosen to take a color away, but I didn't really feel that it was good for this piece to do it as I was making it, so I wanted to use every color. But here's one of the tricks to using every color. You don't want to use them equally. So you don't want to have the pink in there as much as the blue. You want to pick some predominant colors and then use the other colors sparingly as accents. This way you can communicate the message that you're trying to with your work. I know some people go into abstract art and they don't have a clear message, but I always have a feeling in mind. Not only do I have kind of a focal point or a design that I'm trying to go for, but I want to communicate an emotion. And so in this one, it was playfulness and maybe just some sort of excitement of joy and childlike vibes. And when you use every color, you're going to communicate that a lot easier than if you're just using a few colors. And that said, if you're wanting a piece that's really calm, using an analogous color scheme where you just put only blues and purples and no other color, it will look really, really calming, but it won't have a pop of interest that I like for my work. Because like I said before, most of my work has a lot of like color pop vibes. And so I like to have a really bright feel. Next is process, because color goes hand in hand with how you apply it to the canvas. If you'd like to learn more about how I made this painting back here, watch this video. It's over 42 minutes long. It goes step by step. It shows you every single decision from mixing the paint to applying the paint, adding texture, everything. So you can learn and see how I do it. All right, thank you so much for watching. See you next time.